Hey coaches, welcome to day 18 of the new coach training. Today we're going to be talking about challenge groups and how to run them on Facebook and the My Challenge Tracker app. So just a quick little overview before we get into how to actually run them on Facebook and the My Challenge Tracker app. Challenge groups are the bread and butter of coaching. They are so important, and they are what is going to help our clients see the success that they want to see. So it's also a really great place to build community because we're all doing this together and we're all doing the workouts, drinking the Shakeology, doing the nutrition plan, and it's just a really fun way to build community because we're all doing this together. And it's so important to be a challenger before you're ever a coach in the challenge groups because your clients want to see you doing this with them. It makes them feel more bonded with you, and it really helps build the community, and it's just so much fun when you're doing the groups with them and doing the workouts with them, and it also holds yourself accountable. I know if I didn't have the accountability groups, I would not be nearly as consistent as I am. So it's really awesome to be a challenger before you're ever a coach. Another thing is all coaches run their groups differently, so I don't want you to watch this group and be like, oh, I don't run it like that. Oh, I must be doing it wrong. No, all coaches run their challenge groups differently. So keep that in mind while we're going through everything. I'm just going to give you a few basics and you'll find what works for you. These are kind of the things I'm going to go over, or what I'm going to go over is going to be the things that kind of every coach does. But again, make it your own. These challenge groups are so much fun because you can be so creative with them and really show all your creative side, and you can make them different every time. You can kind of reuse content. It's really up to you how you want to run them. Another thing is I want you to not be disheartened if there's low engagement. I want to tell you a few things that is going to help you keep your engagement up while you're doing these challenge groups. So first and foremost, you need to be repetitive, because when you're repetitive, you never know when you're going to say something a certain way that's really going to stick with people. So if you are telling them, welcoming them to the challenge group, send them an email with some information. Send them a direct message with the same kind of information, maybe just worded a little differently. And in the welcome video that you should always have in a challenge group, because it's a really nice way for your clients to see everything they need to see in one short little video, say the same information in there too. Also, if they're not engaging on different posts or anything like that, feel free to tag them. Sometimes they don't even see them. And also, if you know that they don't really go on Facebook much, tell them to set an alarm or set a reminder to remind them to check in with the Facebook group. It's really that simple. Sometimes it's just people that they don't see things or anything like that, so make sure you're super repetitive and it'll really boost your engagement. I'm going to share my screen with you really quick and show you the files that I provide to my challengers to help them get started right and to really see the success that they want to see. So here are some of the files that I use in my challenge groups. The trios file is something you don't really need to worry about right now. I just group my clients up in groups of 3. So it's like an extra layer of accountability because they're all holding each other accountability within their trio and then also within the accountability group. There's also a weekly checklist which I provide to help my clients really keep track of the workouts and the Shakeology that they're drinking every day. So as you can see here, they can check off these little check boxes throughout the challenge group, and it really shows them, I need to step up my workout game, maybe I'm not doing enough, or, oh wow, I'm really rocking the workouts this week, maybe I need to step up my Shakeology. So it's really a great place for them to feel awesome too if they're totally rocking it. But if they do need some help, it kind of shows them a little bit of where they can use the help. There's also a progress tracker that I provide, and this is just giving them a place to take their measurements, take their weight, their progress pictures at the beginning of the group and at the end of the group. I always recommend not weighing yourself throughout the group because sometimes the scale doesn't move, and that's okay, and maybe your measurements do. So it's really important to tell them don't really weigh yourself or anything like that until the end of the group to really see the results, because you don't want them to get discouraged, or if they're doing really well, you don't want them to be like, oh, well, I'm doing really well, maybe I'll treat myself this weekend kind of thing. So super important for them to fill this out at the beginning and at the end of the group. Something else I provide is Shakeology recipes. So if you go in here, you'll see that there's just a link, and if you follow this link, it provides them all the Shakeology recipes for every single flavor. And then there's also a place for personal development. So I really include personal development in my challenge groups because I feel like it helps my clients get the best results possible. So in here, I just list out a bunch of personal development books that I find really will help them depending on what they're struggling with. So I categorize them. So for example, if they're struggling with confidence, here are a bunch of really good books for that. If they're struggling with daily discipline, there's a bunch of really good books for that. So, and it just goes through time management, mindset, etc., etc. So it's really a really nice place to organize all the books that you would recommend for your clients. Show them how to get started with Beachbody On Demand. So Beachbody On Demand is pretty straightforward, but sometimes some of us have some problems getting it started or kind of figuring out how to use it. So I walk my clients through step by step and show them exactly how to use it. And there's even a little YouTube video at the end that will walk them through step by step how to use Beachbody On Demand, both on the computer and on the app if they're using their phone. So I also provide sample meal plans. So in here, depending on the calorie bracket you're in, on the Fixate meal plan, it kind of gives you a bunch of meal plans depending on your calorie bracket. And I provide the link, and it goes right to sample meal plans from there. Another thing I provide is meal prep and meal planning ideas, because meal prep and meal planning is probably the hardest part of any fitness journey. So it really walks them through how to meal prep, how to meal plan, different ideas. There's recipes, grocery lists, there's calorie-free container modifications, snacking options, eating healthy while traveling, really everything they need to be successful with meal planning and meal prepping. I also provide them a file on understanding the containers, because sometimes the containers can be a little bit tricky if you're new to using them. So if you're using the Portion Fix nutrition system, this will walk you through how to use the containers. So your coach will probably give you all the information that you need to run these challenge groups, but again, feel free to make them your own. That's why they're so much fun. So I'm gonna go through kind of posting and how we post in challenge groups. I always say that 3 times a day maximum is what you should be posting in a challenge group. Anything more than that can overwhelm your clients and kind of cause them to not check in as often. So I always post an accountability graphic first thing in the morning at 6 a.m. so they know that's where they're gonna post their sweaty selfie and their Shakeology. It says right in the graphic, post your sweaty selfie and Shakeology selfie below. So they all post it right there. So that's a neat and organized way to keep them all on track in that respect. And then in the morning, around like 8 a.m., I'll usually post something of value for them. So I'll post something about nutrition or fitness or mindset or self-love or anything that I find that can really, really help them with their journey. And then at night, I'll do a check-in around 8 p.m. I'll be like, how was your day? How was your workout? How was your nutrition? How was your water intake? How was your sleep? How was your self-love? How was your positivity? Everything like that. And again, don't ask more than 2 or 3 questions within those nightly check-in posts, because that can overwhelm them and cause them just not to respond. So accountability post in the morning value post, and then the nightly check-in is how usually a lot of coaches run their groups. But again, feel free to be creative. Mix it up if you want to, but those are usually like the basic structure of how we do our posting. If you're really busy, you can schedule your posts, which is a go-getter video below, and it shows you exactly how to schedule your posts in Facebook, which I find so helpful because I would never remember to post at 6 a.m., 8 a.m., and 8 p.m. every day. So I use the scheduling tool in Facebook groups that really helps me stay on track. I schedule them all in one day so I don't have to worry about posting for the rest of the week, and that way I can just check in and really focus on helping my clients. Also, if your coach will probably give you all the resources you need to run your own challenge group, whether it be the posting materials or the accountability graphics or anything like that. But I want to share with you someplace you can find all this information online if you can't get a hold of your upline or they don't provide you with any of the files. So in your Coach Online office, you're going to go to the training at the top right, and then you're going to hit product training. From there, you're going to go to fitness programs, product training, and go to view more. And then from here, let's say you're doing a challenge group based around the 21-day fix. Sometimes there's multi-program challenge groups, so let's just say you're doing one that everyone's doing the 21-day fix. So you click on that, and then you would scroll down to 21-day fix challenge group guide. So you click on that. And then from here, it literally has all the posts that you could possibly need, videos, graphics, everything like that to run your challenge groups. And again, this is just a baseline. It totally will suffice if you just want to go by this, or you can get a little bit more creative with it. So I really recommend going through here, checking out the different programs and the challenge group guides, and getting some really cool information because it's so helpful when running your own challenge groups. So now I'm going to get into my challenge tracker app. So again, this is a special Beachbody app and website specifically for challenge groups. I find it amazing. I have used it in the past, and it's super helpful, and it really keeps things organized. Again, they're run very similar to how we would run them on Facebook, but it's just on a different platform. So I'm going to show you guys the platform on my computer. So here is the My Challenge Tracker portal. And these are all the groups I have run in here in the past. So let's just pick a group so I could show you kind of what it looks like when you're inside of a group. So let's do Summer Slim Down. So when you're in here, you can see people post their Shakeology, they post their sweaty selfies. Here's another sweaty selfie. So it's a really fun way for everyone to keep it organized. And then my favorite feature is you can see the participants and you can actually see how many times they've logged Shakeology and how many times they've logged their workouts, which I find super helpful. But again, it's just a really awesome way to run a challenge group. And of course there's pros and cons to each, but this is what My Challenge Tracker looks online on a computer, and then there's also an app for it, which makes it super easy to access from a phone. So again, My Challenge Tracker is super awesome, and there's a go-getter video below that kind of shows you how to work everything. It's pretty straightforward, but there could be a few things that are a little confusing at first. But again, an awesome way to run a challenge group. So if you're kind of unsure of whether you should do a Facebook or a group on Facebook or on My Challenge Tracker, that's totally fine. Just pick one and go with it. There's no right or wrong answer. There's pros and cons to each. Like for Facebook, you can go Facebook Live, which I really love. In the challenge tracker, you can't do that. But in the challenge tracker, like I showed you, you can see everyone that's logging, and it keeps tally of everyone that's logging the workouts in Shakeology. So there's pros and cons to each. I would say run a challenge group on both platforms and see which one works best for you. See which one your clients like the best. I used My Challenge Tracker for quite a long time, and now I'm using Facebook, and who knows, maybe I'll go back to My Challenge Tracker. So it's really up to you and how you want to run your challenge groups. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was super helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.